Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you're just joining us, our focus this morning has been on politics. Tuesday, April 4th is the spring election, and one of the races on the ballot is for Milwaukee Municipal Judge Branch 1. We just spoke with incumbent Valerie Hill, and we're now being joined by her opponent, William Crowley. He's a graduate of Marquette Law School. He became a member of the ACLU of Wisconsin board in 2012, and he has worked as an attorney during contract work with J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. It is a pleasure to welcome to the show Mr. William Crowley. How are you?
Good, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And I mentioned that you have done work as an attorney and that you joined the staff at Disability Rights Wisconsin in 2014. That is something you're currently doing?
Correct.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your background and your desire to be a Milwaukee Municipal Judge.
Sure. Well, I went to Marquette Law School, and after I got out, graduated, I did a little bit of work as an attorney, but wanted to sort of use my background, experience, and perspective to kind of do more for the community here in Milwaukee, and that's when I joined Disability Rights Wisconsin. I currently work as an ombudsman on the Family Care and Iris team, where I advocate for people with disabilities on some of our long-term care programs that we have here in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, if someone is facing a cut or denial to their services, I help first to try to mediate a solution with the state agency that made the decision, and if that's not possible, then to assist the individual with appealing that decision to the state in front of the administrative law judge.
Okay.
And so I kind of wanted to bring that background of advocacy for some of our most disadvantaged and vulnerable people in our city, and bring that to the municipal court.
Yeah, okay. And as you've mentioned, you've spent many years as an advocate for people with disabilities. What are some of the things that are most important to you in being able to do that?
Sure. As far as most important, just really making sure that people have what they need in their daily lives to lead active, stable lives out in the community. And ensuring they have all the supports that they need to do that on a day-to-day basis, whether it's caregiving or whether it's mobility equipment to get out in the community, and just so they can fully participate in our society.
Yeah, and you've shared your personal story with everyone who is able to go to your website and read. When you were just 2 years old, you were critically injured in a car accident which was caused by a drunk driver. That accident also claimed the life of your stepfather and your mother, who was 8 months pregnant at the time, and that's a tragedy, needless to say, and really a lot for one individual, to even try to digest through a lifetime. So talk about dealing with all of those things and how it has shaped who you are today.
Sure. Well, definitely, dealing with that in my personal background, a lot of adversity to overcome just throughout childhood, growing up, making sure that my voice was heard just throughout, school, throughout just growing up, being a kid, making sure I could participate in whatever my friends, my peers were doing, whether it be school or out of school, then just, trying to lead a normal life.
Absolutely. So let's focus on some of the things that come along with being a municipal court judge. In the first segment, I talked about some of the type of cases that come across the bench. You've got domestic violence, traffic violations, and even DUIs. And I would just assume that with the story you just shared with us that you have some pretty strong feelings about people who drink and decide to get behind the wheel of a car. So that leads to a question of how are you able to really draw the line between how you personally feel about situations as opposed to the law that sits in front of you?
Well, I mean, as with anyone that wants to be a judge, we all have our own personal biases, feelings, what have you. And for me, just taking case by case the individual circumstances as they appear in the court, that and applying that to the law, whatever violation is in front of you as a judge. That is the standard which I would have to abide by. I would do everything I could to keep my own personal feelings outside of the courtroom. If once I put on the robe, I'm not just me. I would be, but acting on behalf of the city as a judge, and just work to separate.
And so on paper, if someone were to compare the background of your opponent, Judge Valerie Hill, her experience versus yours, do you feel that you have the amount of experience to be able to be on the bench and be a municipal judge on a daily basis?
I do. I mean, certainly my opponent, Judge Hill, has more experience as a judge than I do, because she's currently a judge.
Right, correct.
But I feel what I do bring that is different is just my unique background experience dealing with people that traditionally are underrepresented or marginalized, and using that background of connecting with them, then just bringing it to connecting with anyone, no matter who they are, that comes before the court in order to attempt to reach the best solution in each case before me.
Okay, and with that said, I was looking at your website, and you have some specific issues that are, I guess you could say, close to your heart when it comes to dealing with low-income individuals. Also, there will be people that come through the courtroom with mental health issues or even substance abuse issues, and your concerns when dealing with these type of individuals?
Yeah, I mean, there has been some concern in the city about, for instance, people that are low income that come before the court, that they're being assessed fines that are out of their ability to pay, and they face detrimental life consequences if they cannot satisfy, those debts, namely license suspensions and warrants put out on them, which can, then lead to additional consequences, becoming harder to find or hold a job, if you can't drive anywhere, or if it's suspended license, or if you're locked up in jail, which just kind of contributes to the cycle of poverty which many of our residents find themselves trapped in, unfortunately. When you're dealing with people with mental health or substance abuse issues, the reason that they are before the municipal court, the ordinance that they violated is often connected to, some underlying problem that can more effectively be addressed, through some sort of mental health treatment or substance abuse treatment. That hopefully, if they get into the right program, that the underlying issue can be addressed, so that maybe they don't show up back in the court again, before too long.
Okay, so these alternatives that you have in mind, these are programs that already exist, or these programs that you would like to help put into place?
Many of them already exist, but there are more people that could benefit from them that haven't made their way into the program. There are also additional ideas out there that can be tried sort of out of the box thinking that have proven effective in other areas as well, that could also be effective in our city.
Okay, and when you look at a courtroom on a week-to-week basis, there are hundreds of cases that come through, obviously, and I think one of the main things, not only for the judge on the bench, but also for those people who are in the courtroom, everybody has things they have to do. What about the efficiency? What would be your way of having a courtroom run smoothly, getting people in and out?
Sure. Well, I mean, for starters, just, try to effectively get to the heart of whatever issue or, case is before you. Deal with it as quickly and efficiently as possible, but if, try to get a sense of the circumstance of the case. If, there might be a better way to resolve it, then yeah, just keep moving things along. If someone is kind of confused or not really sure of the process, kind of help them through it a little bit, because most people that come through municipal court do not have lawyers. Then, might need some guidance, kind of help them along to hopefully move the process along forward as well.
Okay, well, I thank you so much for coming by and giving us some insight, not only on who you are as a man, but who you would be if elected as a Milwaukee Municipal Judge. So thank you for your time, and all the best to you.
Thank you, Andrea.
It's been a pleasure. William Crowley is a candidate for Milwaukee Municipal Court Judge, Branch 1. And for more information on William and where he stands on the issues, you can visit his website at crowleyforjudge2017.com. And don't forget, the spring election's coming up on Tuesday, April 4th. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And for more information, you can visit milwaukee.gov or call 414-286-VOTE. And that's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.